Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjalashakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Namah Shri Chaitanya Mono Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swaya Rupam Kalamoyam ददाति सपदान्तिकं नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चादिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, welcome back. Today we are going to read the fourth chapter of on the way to Krishna. So the chapter name is The Roads of the Foolish and the Wise. So let's begin. Krishna is thus explaining himself as is, yet we are not attracted to him. Why is this? The reason is given by Krishna himself. Daivi hayyesa gunamayi mama maya durattaya mama eva prapadyante mayam etam taranti te दैविः एष गुणामायी माममाया दुरात्यया माम एव ये प्रपाद्यन्ते मायम एतं taranti te. This divine energy of mind, consisting of three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. The material world is pervaded by the three qualities of the material nature. All living entities are influenced by these qualities. If they are primarily influenced by the mode of goodness, they are called Brahmanas. And if they are influenced by the mode of passion, they are called Kshatriyas. And if they are influenced by the modes of passion and ignorance, they are called Vaishyas. And they are influenced by ignorance, they are Sudras. This is not an artificial imposition due to birth or social status, but is according to guna, or the mode of the nature under which one is operating. चतुर्वर्णं माया शस्त्रं गुणकर्मा विवक्षः तस्य कर्त तस्य कर्तरम् अपि मां विद्यये कर्तमाम् अव्यहम्. According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. And although I am the creator of the system, you should know that I am at the non-doer, being unchangeable. Gita 4.13. It is not that the system refers to the perverted caste system in India. Sri Krishna specifically states Guna Karma Vibhagashay Vibhagasa. Men are classified according to the guna or the mode under which they are operating, and this applies to men all over the universe. When Krishna speaks, we must understand that whatever he says is not limited but is universally true. He claims to be the father of all living entities, even the animals, aquatics, trees, plants, worms, birds, and bees are all claimed to be his sons. Sri Krishna asserts that the entire universe is illuminated by the interaction of three qualities of material nature, and we are under the spell of that illusion. Therefore, we cannot understand what God is. What is the nature of this illusion, and how can it be overcome? This is also that is also explained in the Bhagavad-gītā. दैविनेशे दैविहे एष गुणामायी माममय माममया दुरात्यया माम एव ये प्रपद्यन्ति मयम् एतं त्रतन्ति ते. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered to me can easily cross it beyond. Gita 7.14. No one can get rid of entanglements of the three qualities of the material nature by the mental speculation. The three gunas are very strong and hard to overcome. Can't we feel? Can't we feel how we are in the grip of the material nature? The word guna would also mean rope. When somebody is bound by the three strong ropes, he is certainly very tightly secured. Our hands and legs are all bound by the strong ropes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Are we therefore to abandon hope? No. For here, Sri Krishna promises that whoever surrenders unto him is at once free. When one becomes Krishna conscious, whether in this way or that way, he becomes free. We are all related to Krishna, for we are all his sons. A son may have a disagreement with his father, but it is not possible for him to break that relation. In this course of his life, he will be asked who is, and he will have to reply, I am the son of so and so. That relation cannot be broken. We are all sons of God, and that relationship with Him is eternal, but we have simply forgotten. Krishna is all powerful, all famous, all wealthy, all beautiful, all knowledgeable, and is full of renunciation as well. Although we are friends of such a great personality, we have forgotten it. If a rich man's sons forget his father, he leaves home and becomes mad. He may lie on the street to go to sleep, or he may beg money for food. But all of this, but all of this is due to his forgetfulness. If someone, however, gives him information that he is simply suffering because he has left his father's home, and that his father, a very wealthy man and owner of vast property, is anxious to have him return, the person is a great benefactor. In this material world, we are always suffering under the threefold miseries: the miseries arising from the body and the mind, from other living entities, and from natural catastrophes. Being covered by illusion, by the modes of the material nature, we do not take account of these miseries. However, we should always know that in this material world we are undergoing so much suffering. One who has sufficiently developed consciousness, who is intelligent, inquires, why is he suffering? I don't want miseries. Why am I suffering? When this question arises, there is a chance to become Krishna conscious. As soon as we surrender ourselves to Krishna, he welcomes us very cordially. It is just like a lost child who returns to his father and says, my dear father, due to some misunderstanding, I left your protection, but I have suffered. Now I return to you. The father embraces his son and says, my dear boy, come on. I was so anxious for you all the days, and you were gone. And now I am so happy you have come back. The father is so kind. We are in the same position. We have to surrender to Krishna, and it is not very difficult. When the son surrenders to father, is it a very difficult job? It is very natural, and the father is always waiting to receive the son. There is no question of insult. If we bow down before our supreme father and touch his feet, there is no harm for us, nor is it difficult. Indeed, it is glorious for us. Why should we not? By surrendering to Krishna, we come immediately under his protection and are relieved of all miseries. This is validated by all scriptures. At the end of the Bhagavad-gītā, Sri Krishna says, Sarvadharman pari, uh, सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वं सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुच. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Gita 18.66. When we throw ourselves at the feet of God, we come under His protection, and from that time on, there is no fear for us. When children are under the protection of their parents, they are fearless because they know their parents will not let them be harmed. mam eva ye prapadyanti. Krishna promises that those who surrender to him have no cause for fear. If surrender unto Krishna is such a very easy thing, then why don't people do it? Instead, there are many who are challenging the existence of God, claiming that nature and science are everything and God is nothing. So-called advancement of civilization in knowledge means that the populace is becoming more mad. Instead of being cured, the disease is being increased. People don't care for God, but they care for nature, and it is nature's business to give kicks in the form of the threefold miseries. She's always administrating three kicks 24 hours a day. However, we have become so accustomed to being kicked that we think it is all right and consider it to be the ordinary course of thing. We have become very proud of our education, but we tell material nature, "Thank you very much for kicking me. Now please continue." Thus, deluded. We think we have even conquered material nature. But how is this so? Nature is so inflicting on us the miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death. Has anyone solved these problems? Then what advancement have we really made in knowledge and civilization? We are under the stringent rules of material nature, but still we are thinking we have conquered. This is called Maya. There may be some difficulty in surrendering to the father of this body, for he has limited knowledge and power. But Krishna is not like an ordinary father. Krishna is unlimited and has full knowledge, full power, full wealth, full beauty, full fame, and full renunciation. Shouldn't we consider ourselves lucky to go to such a father and enjoy his property? Yet no one seems to care about this, and now everyone is making propaganda that there is no God. Why do people not seek him out? The answer is given in the 7th chapter, verse 15 of the Bhagavad-gītā. Namam duskrito mudha prapadyante prapadyante naradhama maya pratajnana asuram bhavam asritha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. In this way, the fools are categorized. Adhiskriti is always acting against the spiritual injunction. The business of the current civilization is to break scriptural rules. That's all. By definition, a pious man is one who doesn't. There must be some standard to distinguish between the Duskriti, an evildoer, and Sukriti, a virtuous man. Every civilized country has some scripture. It may be Christian, Hindu, Muslim, or Buddhist. That doesn't care. The point is that the book of the authority, the scripture is there. One who does not follow its injunctions is considered an outlaw. Another category mentioned in the verse is Muda, fool number one. The the Naradhama is one who is low in human scale, and Mayaya Pratha Jnana refers to the one whose knowledge is carried away by Maya. Mayaya Pratha Jnana or illusion. Asuram Bhavam Ashrita refers to those who are out atheist. Although there are no disadvantages to surrendering to the Father, people who are thus characterized or never do it. As a result, they are constantly punished by the agents of Father. They have to be slapped, canned, and kicked severely, and they have to suffer. Just as the Father has to chastise his unruly boy, so material nature has to employ certain punishments. At the same time, nature is nourishing us by supplying food and other necessities. Both processes are going on because we are sons of the wealthiest father of all. And Krishna is kind even though we do not surrender to him. Yet, despite being furnished so well by the father, the Duskriti still perform unsanctioned actions. One is foolish if he persists in being punished, and one is slow on the human scale if he does not use this human form of life to understand Krishna. If a man does not use his life to regain the relationship he has with, with his real father, he is to be considered fallen in the human scale. Animals simply eat, sleep, defend themselves, and have sexual intercourse and die. They do not avail themselves of higher consciousness because that is not possible in the lower forms of life. If a human being follows the activities of the animals and does not avail himself of his ability to elevate his consciousness, he falls down the human scale. He falls down the human scale and prepares for an animal body in the next life. By the grace of Krishna, we are given a highly developed body and intelligence. But if we do not utilize them, why should he give why should he give them to us again? We must understand that this human body has developed after millions and millions of years of evolution, and that in itself is a chance to get out of the cycle of birth and death in which over 8 million species of life evolve. This chance is given by the grace of Krishna, and if we don't take it, and are we not lowest among men? One may be a degree holder, MA, PhD, etc., from some university, but the illusory energy that takes away is this mundane knowledge. He who is really intelligent will apply his intelligence to understand who God is, what what material nature is, why he is suffering in material nature, and what is the remedy to this suffering. We may have apply our intelligence to the manufacture an automobile, radio, or television for sense gratification, but we have to understand that this is not the knowledge. Rather, this is plundered intelligence. Intelligence was given to man to understand the problems of life, but it is being misused. People are thinking they have acquired knowledge because they know how to manufacture and drive cars. But before the car was here, people were still going from one place to another. It is just that the facility has been increased, but along with the facility have come additional problems, air pollution and overcrowded highways. This is Maya. We are creating facilities, but these facilities in turn are creating so many problems. Instead of wasting our energy to supply ourselves with so many facilities and modern amenities, we should apply intelligence to understand who and what we are. We do not like to suffer, but we should understand why suffering is being forced on us. By so-called knowledge, we have simply succeeded in manufacturing the atomic bomb. Thus, the killing process has been accelerated. We are so proud to think that this is the advancement of knowledge. But if we can manufacture something that can stop death, we have really advanced in knowledge. Death is already there in the material nature, but we are so eager to promote it by killing everyone at one drop. This is called Maya Maya Prata Jnana, knowledge carried away by illusion. The Asuras, the demons, and the proclaimed atheists actually challenge God. If it were not for the Supreme Father, we would not see the light of day. So, what is the point of challenging him? In the Vedas, it is stated that there are two classes of men, the Devas and Asuras, the demigods and demons. Who are Devas? The devotees of the Supreme Lord are called Devas because they also become like God. Whereas those who defy the authority of the Supreme are called Asuras or demons. These two classes are always found in the human society. Just as there are four types of miscreants who never surrender to Krishna, there are four types of fortunate men who worship him, and they are categorized in this verse. चतुर्विधा भजन्ते चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम कृतिनो अर्जुन अर्थजिज्ञासुर अर्थ अर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भारत सभा. O best among the Bhartas, Arjuna, four kinds of pious men render devotional services unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and who is searching for the knowledge of the Absolute. Gita 7.16. This material world is full of distress, and the both pious and impious are subject to it. The cold of winter treats everyone alike. It does not care for pious or impious, the rich or poor. The difference between the pious and the impious, however, is that the pious man thinks of God when he is in miserable condition. Often, when a man is distressed, he will go to church and pray, "Oh my Lord, I am in difficulty, please help me." Although he is praying for some material necessity, such a man is still to be considered pious because he has come to God in his distress. Similarly, a poor man may go to church and pray, "My dear Lord, please give me some money." On the other hand, the inquisitive are usually intelligent. They are always researching to understand things. They may ask, "What is God?" and then conduct scientific research to find out. They are also considered pious because their research is directed to the proper object. The man in knowledge is called Jnani, one who has understand his conditional position. Such a Jnani may have an impressed conception of God, but because he is taking shelter of the ultimate, the supreme personality of Godhead, the supreme personality truth, he is also to be considered pious. These four of men are called Sukriti, Sukrit, Sukriti, pious, because they are all after God. तेषां ज्ञानि नित्यायुक्ता विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिमोक्त्यर्थम् अहं स अहं स च मां priya. Of this, the one who is in the full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him, and he is dear to me. Gita 7.17. Out of the four classes of men who approach God, he who philosophically trying to understand the nature of God, who is trying to become Krishna conscious, Vishishyate, is best qualified. Indeed, Krishna says that a person who is very dear to him because he has no other business than understanding God. The others are inferior. No one has to pray to God to ask for anything, and he who does so is foolish because he does not know that all knowing God is within his heart and is well aware when he is in distress or in need of money. The wise man realizes this and does not pray for relief from material miseries. Rather, he prays to glorify God and inform others how great he is. He does not pray for his personal interest, for bread, dress, or shelter. The pure devotee, when he is distressed, says, "Dear Lord, this is your kindness. You have put me into distress just to rectify me. I should be put in much greater distress. But out of your mercy, you have minimized this." This is the vision of a pure devotee who is not disturbed. He who is in Krishna consciousness does not care for material distress, insult, or horror because he is aloof from all these. He knows well that distress, honor, and insult pertain to the body only, and that he is not the body. Socrates, for instance, who believed in the immortality of the soul, was condemned to death, and upon being asked how he would like to be buried, he replied, "First of all, you may have to catch me." So one who knows he is not the body is not disturbed, for he knows the soul cannot be caught, tortured, killed, or buried. He who is conservant with the science of Krishna knows perfectly well that he is not the body, that he is a part and parcel of Krishna, that his real relationship is with Krishna, and that somehow or other, although he has been put in this material body, he must return aloof from the three qualities of material nature. He is not concerned with the modes of the goodness, passion, or ignorance, but with Krishna. One who understands this is a jnani, a wise man, and is very much dear to Krishna. A distressed man, when he is put into opulences, may forget God, but a jnani who knows the real position of God will never forget him. There is a class of jnanis called impersonalities who say that because worshipping the impersonal is too difficult, a form of God has to be imagined. These are not real gnanis, they are fools. No one can imagine the form of a god. For God is so great, one may imagine some form, but that is a concussion. It is not the real form. There are those who imagine in the form of God, and there are those who deny the form of God. Neither is a gnani. Those who imagine the form of God iconoclasts. During the Hindi Muslim riots in India, some Hindus would go to the Muslim mosque and break statues and images of God, and the Muslims would reciprocate in the same manner. In this way, they were both thinking, we have killed the Hindu God, we have killed the Muslim God, etc. Similarly, when Gandhi was leading his resistance movement, many Indians would go to the street and destroy the mailboxes, and in this way, think they were destroying the government postal services. People of such mentality are not jnanis. The religious wars between Hindu and Muslims and Christians and non-Christians were all conducted on the basis of ignorance. One who is in knowledge knows that God is one. He cannot be Muslim, Hindu, or Christian. It is our imagine that God is such and such and such and such. That is all imagination. The real wise man knows that God is transcendental. One who knows that God is transcendental to the material modes truly knows God. God is always beside us, present in our hearts. When He leaves the body, God also goes with us. And when we take another body, He goes with us there just to see what we are doing. When shall we return our face towards Him? He is always waiting. As soon as we turn our face towards God, He says, my dear son, come on. Sacha, Sacha Mama Priya, you are eternally dear to me. Now you are turning your face to me, and I am very glad. The wise man, the gnani, actually understand the signs of God. One who only understands that God is an preliminary stage, but one who actually understands how great and good God is further progressed. That knowledge is to be had in Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad-gītā. One who is actually interested in God should study the signs of God, the Bhagavad-gītā. Idam tu te gui idam tu te guitamam pravaksham अनुश्रयवे ज्ञानं विज्ञानि sahitam yajnanatamokshasya shubhat. My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of all the miseries of material existence. Gita 9.1. The knowledge of God imparted in the Bhagavad Gita is very subtle and confidential. It is full of jnana, metaphysical wisdom, and vijnana, scientific knowledge, and it is full of mystery also. How can one understand this knowledge? It must be imparted by God Himself or a bona fide representative of God. Therefore, Sri Krishna says that whenever there is a discrepancy or an understanding the science of God, He incarnates Himself. Nor does knowledge come from the sentiment. Devotion is not sentiment, it is science. Srila Rupa Goswami says a show of spirituality without reference to the Vedic knowledge is simply a disturbance to society. One must taste the nectar of devotion by reasons, argument, and knowledge, and then he must pass it on to others. One should not think that Krishna consciousness is merely sentimentality. The dancing and singing are all scientific. There is a science, and there is also loving reciprocation. Krishna is very dear to the wise man, and the wise man is very dear to Krishna. Krishna will return our love a thousandfold. What capacity do we finite creatures have to love Krishna? But Krishna has immense capacity, unlimited capacity for love. So this was the chapter 4, the roads of the foolish and the wise. So today we are going to end this session today, and tomorrow we'll be continuing with our last chapter, chapter number 5, steering towards the supreme. Okay. Thank you for staying me. Thank you for staying. Vancha kalpatrubhasya kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo. Hare Krishna.